Okay, quick question. You get a paper cut right now. What do? You probably don't even think about it. Maybe a bandage, maybe nothing. You definitely don't think, well, this is it. I guess I'm dying now. But rewind 50,000 years, and that same tiny cut could actually kill you. No hospitals, no antibiotics, no hand sanitizer stations every 10 feet like we've got today. Just you, an open wound, and a planet absolutely swarming with bacteria that would love to throw a party inside your bloodstream. So how did ancient humans not just drop dead constantly? Short answer, a lot of them did. Brutal, I know, but the ones who survived, they figured out some genuinely wild tricks. And honestly, some of these are so weird you're going to want to tell your friends immediately. Let's start easy. Honey. Ancient Egyptians were putting honey on wounds thousands of years ago, and it actually works because honey is low moisture, slightly acidic, basically an unlivable apocalypse wasteland for bacteria. They had zero idea why, they just knew, put the sticky stuff on the cut gets better. Bronze Age problem solving at its finest. Now here's where it gets weird. Moldy bread. Yes, old, moldy bread. Cultures in Egypt, Serbia, China, all separately figured out that pressing moldy bread onto a wound actually helped, which sounds completely unhinged until you remember mold produces its own natural antibacterial chemicals to fight off its microscopic enemies. Thousands of years later, a guy named Alexander Fleming left a petri dish uncovered by accident, noticed mold-killing bacteria around it, and boom, penicillin, Nobel Prize. Ancient humans basically discovered this first and got zero credit. Rude, honestly. But wait, it gets weirder. In ancient Nubia, that's modern-day Sudan, people were brewing beer with grain that happened to be contaminated with bacteria that produced tetracycline. Yeah, an actual antibiotic, still used today. A scientist named George Armelagos studied ancient Nubian skeletons and found tetracycline baked directly into their bones. These people were drinking antibiotic beer regularly, on purpose probably because they noticed it just worked. Somewhere out there, an ancient Nubian brewer deserves an entire statue, possibly a national holiday. Okay? Deep breath, because now we're doing maggots. I know. But hear me out before you rage quit this video. Ancient healers packed live maggots directly into open wounds, on purpose, and it's genuinely brilliant because maggots only eat dead, infected tissue. They leave the healthy stuff completely alone. It's basically hiring a tiny, disgusting, hyper-specialized cleanup crew that works for free. This isn't just some ancient fever dream either. In World War I, army surgeons noticed the exact same thing on real battlefields. A doctor named William Baer studied soldiers whose wounds had gotten infested with maggots completely by accident and realized those wounds were healing faster and cleaner than the ones that hadn't. He turned it into an actual medical treatment. Hospitals still use maggot therapy today. For real, on certain wounds, modern medicine can't fully clean. So what's actually going on here? Ancient humans weren't running labs. Nobody had a microscope. Nobody knew what a bacterium even was. But they were relentless. If something worked, they remembered it. If it didn't work, well, somebody probably found that out the hard way, and everyone else took very careful notes. And it wasn't just these examples. Garlic, genuinely antimicrobial, used everywhere. Willow bark, chewed for pain, literally became the compound that turned into aspirin. Vinegar, wine, specific clays, certain ash, all pressed into service as ancient infection control long before anyone could explain why any of it worked. So next time you rip open a little tube of Neosporin without thinking twice, remember what's actually standing behind you. A ridiculously long chain of humans who figured out honey, moldy bread, antibiotic beer, and maggots with absolutely zero science to back them up. They didn't have your pharmacy, but they had something almost as powerful. They paid attention and they simply refused to stop trying. And honestly, that's kind of the whole story of being human. If this blew your mind even a little, do me a favor. Hit like, drop a comment telling me which one freaked you out the most: honey, moldy bread, antibiotic beer, or the maggots, and subscribe if you want more of this. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and it helps me keep digging up weird true stories like this one for you. Share it with one friend who needs to know about ancient antibiotic beer today. See you in the next one.